Hello, everybody. This is Malka. Imagine your resume is a landing page. Now, what's the goal of a landing page? The goal of a landing page is to convert, to get the right person to take the action. So on your landing page, you will technically have a button that will say book a call. Or you will have a link that says click a link. Or you will have a button that says make a hire. But most resumes, in the format that we have now and that we see today, read like task lists, not conversion tools. When you look at the resume today, it usually will tell us what you did, but not who you helped, not how you moved the needle or made an impression, or what value you actually bring. Today, I'm going to help you rewrite your resume like it is a landing page. So let's get started. Step 1, the headline. You start with a strong headline under your name. So for instance, on a resume, you are not going to write, or even on your landing page, you are not going to write the words marketing professional. You should try to come up with something that's a little bit more strong, such as SEO strategist who drives organic growth from B2B brands, operations leader specializing in systems that scale, headlines like that. And the reason for that is because those type of headlines are your positioning. That's your positioning line. Just like you would have on a website. Okay? You would have a headline on the website. As a matter of fact, the headline on your website would be the name of your homepage. You would say, let's say it's a female, Jane Doe, and then you would say SEO strategist. And then that would be your homepage instead of naming it home. The second step is the pitch. This is the summary section of your resume. This is where you write your elevator pitch. A lot of people think that they want to write their biography, and the resume, sadly, is not such a document. It's not such a page. It's not such a website. It's to really be clear. It's to say what you've done and how you've impacted others and what you bring in a manner that's concise, that's reader-focused. The way to formulate your elevator pitch is very, very simple. You think of the problem that you solve, you think of the value that you bring, and you think of the industries that you're best in. So for instance, in my case, the problem that I solve, this problem that I'm solving now is that I'm going to be helping people who are trying to pivot their careers, who are 40 years and older and female. And in this case, what value do I bring? I bring all the years of work experience that I've done in marketing, specifically as an SEO expert, in working with people, creating businesses, things like that. In the industry that I'm best in at the moment, the industries that I'm best in is going to be anybody who's a small business, anybody who is a content creator, anyone who is a SaaS founder. Those are the people who are going to probably need me the most. And the people, my biggest population will be anyone who is 40 years and older. And the reason why I've chosen this particular demographic is because people 40 plus have done a lot. Usually multifaceted individuals. A lot of them are either facing a career change because they want one, or they are facing a career change because they've been put in a situation where they have to have a change. And there's a lot of things that go with that. Most times not, professionals at that level are very confused because they've done so much and they know so much and they don't know what direction to go in. How do I package all of these ideas? How do I give myself the credit that I deserve? And a lot of times you will see that type of confusion on resumes, okay? And you'll see it in their elevator pitch as well, actually, come to think of it. The next thing that we can do to fix this copywriting issue and regarding our resume is to write features and benefits, but with bullet points. Each bullet point should highlight an impact. And you should start with an action verb and you should end with a result. So for instance, instead of saying on your resume, managed social media accounts, the better term or the better phrase or the better sentence is increased LinkedIn engagement by 60% in 3 months from targeted content campaign. So in the last sentence, you are literally starting out with an action, which is you increased LinkedIn engagement, and then you're ending with a result, which was that you did this in 3 months, okay, of starting your content campaign. The fourth thing that you can do is to optimize for keywords. A lot of times people copy and paste job descriptions. I don't usually subscribe to that mindset. And I'll tell you why. It's because everybody copies and pastes the same words over and over again. And I know that the ATS is programmed to pick up certain words. And what will happen is your website, your resume, is going to just get flooded. It'll be in the river, in the sea, not even a river. It'll be in the sea of resumes that are not going anywhere, that are not being picked up, that are not being viewed. However, I will say you can use job descriptions to find the right phrases. A lot of times we put too many of those phrases in our resumes because everyone wants the ATS to pick them up. What I would suggest is that you use Google search, keyword search. You use tools like JobScan or resumeworded.com. This way you can align your language with what hiring managers use. You can also align the wording of your resume with what ATS, applicant tracking system, is actually looking for. Another really, really good tip is that just like on your website, you don't want to stuff the keywords. The same thing should be applicable for your resume. I would suggest also that you use, let's say, 2-3 high searched keywords for your field. You would use some middle searched keywords, and then you would do some low searched keywords. And you would somehow take all 6 words, right? 2 from each group or 3 from each group, whatever, 6 to 9 words, and sprinkle them throughout your resume. And this way you can actually reach, hopefully, strategically, a wider range of people looking for, or hiring managers looking for your particular skill set. And the reason why I'm suggesting this is because when you're going for those word searches, everybody tends to use the highest searched words, which then means that area is heavily flooded with a bunch of resumes, and the probability of your resume not being picked up is very high. If you use mid-searched keywords, the chances of you being seen from the hiring managers is probably a little bit higher. If you use some of the low search keywords for your field, yes, that would also make it a higher probability to be seen. The thing though is you want to have a combination of all 3. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And the other point that I'm trying to make here is that your resume should be treated as a living web page, which means that you should update it regularly. And you should add wins, if you can, to your resume as well. And the logic behind this is that when you're creating a web page, the web page is constantly evolving, right? You put it up today, and then, a month, 2 months, 3 months from now, you'll go back, you'll tweak some of the language on the web page, specifically your homepage, and then you'll go back and it goes back up fresh in the searches again. The goal is to stay between 1 to 3 pages, right, within the Google search engines, or within the search engines in general, not just Google. So the way to do that is to constantly have that one page evolve. And the same thing would be true for a resume. You would like for your resume to be picked up. You would like for your resume to be seen by the hiring managers. You would like the ATS to say, hey, here you go. Here's a new one. And the way you do that is by refreshing your resume. So the key takeaway for this episode is that your resume should not just describe who you are. Your resume should actually sell who you are. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The resume should not just describe who you are. It should sell who you are, because being found is good, right? We all want to be found when we're looking for a job. We all want to be found when we're looking for a collaboration. We all want to be found when someone says they're looking for a partnership in the professional arena. But being chosen is the real goal. Thank you for listening. Let's build and let's be found.